Well, let's talk to correspondent Sarah Morris, who's in Madrid. Sarah, first of all, just spell out what the rules are currently in Spain on this.
Well, basically, somebody can request assisted suicide or euthanasia if they have a serious or incurable disease, or if they have a chronic or incapacitating condition, and the goal would be to avoid them suffering intolerable suffering. They are the conditions. There is a fairly strict protocol involving at least 2 doctors saying that the conditions are met, and 15 days of difference. The patient would have to express the desire to have an early death brought on. Within 15 days, twice that request would have to be made, and they would have to be provided with information on palliative care available. And there is a commission that oversees those cases to ensure that there is no abuse of the system. We know that from the first year of application, there were 172 patients who benefited from euthanasia or assisted suicide. And in the bulk of cases, they chose to have a lethal dose administered to them by a health professional.
And Sarah, those regulations have been in place in Spain about 1.5 years now. Do we know how well they're working overall?
Well, those who campaigned for euthanasia in Spain would say that they have brought relief for patients and their families who found themselves without, as they would put it, the right to a dignified and a decent death. There was a huge battle in Spain. You might remember that Oscar-winning film, The Sea Inside, in 2004. That was based on the real case of Ramon San Pedro, and he basically was injured, left paralysed from the neck downwards in a diving accident, and he persuaded a friend of his to help him in that assisted suicide. There is clarity now for those friends who do want to help, and there should be help from the medical professions. But one of the complaints here is that there is uncertainty. In some cases, there have been unhelpful delays in some of the regions because the regions administer the health system, and in some cases there are lists of doctors who object to helping people with euthanasia, and sometimes that is seen as an unnecessary delay because of the political motivations. You'll remember that this was a socialist left-wing law brought through, and it was well, the Conservative People's Party and the far-right party Vox appealed this to the Constitutional Court. They were backed, for instance, by the Catholic Church, who was strongly opposed to the law. And we've just had a recent ruling that the law is constitutional, that it does not breach the right to life, and that it will be remaining on the statute book.
Sarah Morris, live in Madrid. Thanks very much indeed.